So these are my hamburger buns. They look very flat. First time I've ever made them. I'm not a baker. I just look like one on my camera, but I'm not. So I'm going to try baking these and we'll see how they turn out and I'll let you know. Hey guys. So today I'm going to do a twofer. I'm going to make some cinnamon rolls while I talk to you guys about the images that I got. I was going to do a video today about our Middle Eastern trip for the Trump family. I also wanted to see if Qatar's airplane is going to stay in his hands, what's going to happen with that. But I'm making cinnamon rolls today. My stepdaughter is coming in this weekend, next weekend, and so her and her husband like them, so I'm going to make them and stick them in the freezer. I also did hamburger buns for tonight's dinner, although I'm not having a hamburger. I'm having chicken, but it doesn't matter. So when I get into the energy of Trump, he feels so empowered, if that's the right word. He feels like this is sort of meditative too as I'm doing it. He feels like he is winning, is the right word? What's the word? Empowered. It makes him feel like the king of the world. That's it. He feels like the king of the world. And the way they treated him with the parade with the Teslas and the camels and just the opulence and all the gold. You know how Mr. Orange loves his gold. Anyway, I think I just realized maybe the tan is him trying to be gold. Maybe. Anyway, as it's going to come out eventually, I think, like I said before, 3 years, I think, before he'll be able to take possession of that plane. It's just got too many problems with security and how many, they have to be able to go through every little inch of that plane. So nobody could listen to any conversation, security stuff. But I'm putting this on. But when I listen or I get into the energy of people there, Qatari president, I feel like when they look at Trump from their perspective, it feels very fat. Trump feels very fat. Maybe it's symbolic of how much money the United States has or what he's going to get from him. He feels like he's going to win somehow because he's so, abundant and prosperous. And maybe he's looking at him because he can be prosperous by having this relationship. And how much you can get out of him. I know I visited the Saudi Arabian prince, and from his perspective, ooh, I don't feel good when I'm in his energy. I feel a sense of dread and I want to vomit. Oh, that's weird. That is weird. I have no idea why that came on. Why? I think that's who he is and how he looks at life. I feel like it's very dark and like this Saudi Arabian guy, the prince, and he was the one I think had the Turkish journalist, taken apart. You know what I mean? Oh, Khashoggi. I'm sorry, I'm messing up your name. But yeah, he looks at Trump as like, I feel this dread. I look at Trump and he is like seeing him as also dark. He sees him as like a compadre, like brothers in a way, because they look at certain things the same, or they have a lot of secret. There's some dark energy between the two of them, and I don't know why that is. And as I put down my cinnamon and sugar, the other thing I looked at when I was looking at Trump's energy, his impression, besides wanting to be all powerful and king of the world, I see that because he recognized Syrian president as well, because they have the new government, and that's a big deal. And I think he's lifting sanctions that they had on for many years. So hopefully that'll help the country get on its feet and be non-corrupt. We'll see. But I I saw Trump, if you took a bag or a bundle and you wrapped up all the countries in the Middle East and you tied a knot around this big bag, he wants to, and I could see him throwing it over his shoulder and walking away. So what is he getting out of it? He feels like he's taking taking on all of them and getting something. And he feels like he is winning. And I said, oh, powerful. But he's removing, like he gets to keep something. And maybe obviously it's the plane, but it's not just the plane. It's how he sees his power. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. And also, I think last time I asked about the bill in, the Republicans, if that tax bill, their budget, which would cut a bunch of domestic spending except for defense. And it looks like some hardliners in the Republican Party said no. So, and they wanted more cuts, of course. And that's what I saw. I saw that bill just sitting there, static, not going anywhere. And I don't see it moving. Well, that's not true. Okay, hold on now. I see that there's going to be a lot of talks this weekend, and next week. Mike Johnson needs a win. Sure does, Mr. Wizard of Oz. I just feel like they're going to trim it down to nobody's going to be happy with it. Not the hardliners. He needs to help. He needs some of the centrist Republicans who need some money in their states. It's a lot. I just don't see him getting that passed anytime soon. And I know Trump will probably want to, get a win and make it seem like he's getting a win. But I don't know why I'm hearing 4th of July. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I don't think it's going anywhere. I do feel like it's going to be a slow go for that tax bill. And Mike Johnson is going to have to sell his soul if he hasn't already. All right, I'm going to cut. Sometimes I use dental floss, but I don't feel like doing that today. So I cut my first piece with a serrated knife. And I'm going to put some in this loaf pan because I'm only going to make a small tray for the visiting family. And so I'll have extra. Let me put that up here, actually. And so I'm going to just put them in here, and then I'm going to put the rest in a loaf pan. Let's see. The SCOTUS and the birthright citizenship. I don't see them. I feel like it's too dangerous. And they were actually upset about all these judges doing that. I know they don't like it either because I guess back in the day, the Republicans used to do that all the time. And they would file these suits and do all this stuff. And the Supreme Court's like, you can't keep doing this, and these local judges stop everything. But at the same time, you can't just a blanket birtherism or birth citizenship is illegal, or you're kicking people out. So I don't think they're going to make a difference. I don't think they're going to even hear it. If they do, I think they're going to ask for more stuff, more information, more rules, more cause for why they want to have that happen. Or why the Republicans or Democrats want to have it happen. So I don't think that's going to make a difference. They do feel like they're paid, our SCOTUS buddies, but honestly, with only Alito and Thomas dissenting, I feel like they're not going to go that way. And in the future, I think we're going to hold the Republic together for right now. There's a lot of immigrant problems, and I told you before, the protests are going to continue, and they're going to be pretty darn strong, and we keep protesting, and but I think it's going to be okay. I think it is. We're going to get through this, but it feels like every other day. It's just hard and it's messy. I'll continue this after I put take a picture of these when I'm done, but I'm going to continue this with reading some cards instead of me stopping and starting and not being able to concentrate. Hey guys, So later, still things are rising downstairs. I'm only going to partially bake those cinnamon rolls, and I'm going to stick them in the freezer so you guys will see that. But I wanted to look into James Comey. And all of a sudden I'm put in the mind of Jim Jordan. And I got my Toth cards out, and I got Prince of Disc, which is very slow. And this is the Star, which is about faith, which is awesome. Magus, which is a magician. And then we've got Failure, which is Seven of Pentacles. But Failure and its Seven of Pentacles is traditionally slow. Things take a long time to grow. Then I got some other Ten of Wands, oppressive. I got a female, a cup, Queen of Cups, very emotional. And then I've got Indolence, which is Eight of Cups. That is too much emotion. Saturn in Pisces, restrictive. It's like the opposite. Too much emotion, trying to make sense of it, trying to force something that isn't forcible. So they're not gonna make it happen. They want him to be a what do you call a scapegoat? So when I look out into James Comey's energy, and I'm looking at the dais of congressmen or committee people, of course they're all going to have their little spiels and tell how great he was or how bad he was or whatever. But from his perspective, he sees like he feels really big. You know, he's a tall guy anyway, but he feels really big. But they are like far away and small, like little tiny people. But from their perspective, from the dais, from up on the platform there, he seems little. I don't know why. I can't believe it's the distance. And then I finally got the defeat card, Five of Swords. So I think the Republicans are going to get something out of it. Some talking points, something to put on TV to show how bad he was and how Hillary and all that, and why. And just quickly, I think he won't get obviously done anything wrong to him. Just they want to make it a big deal, kind of like Hunter Biden and all that. But that's not even the same thing. I've been reading a lot about Biden and how Joe Biden, and they really kept it a secret. I didn't want to believe that, but I think they really kept it a secret. His mental state, I always thought his mental state was fine, but his physical state was degrading. That's what I always felt. And maybe inside, that's what he wanted to believe. But it sounds like he wanted to hold on. All this little small group wanted to hold on to power. And I mean, we can't go back. We just can't. Here we are now. And, but I wanted to just check in. Just curiosity sake. Would we have, or would the Democratic Party won? No. I see no. I don't think they would have. Even without Kamala Harris. And if he had ran again, I don't see him winning. No. In fact, I think it would have been a greater defeat with him in there. I'm sorry, people. I love me some Joe Biden, but yeah. See, I got the love card. But it was hard. Prince of Dick. Yeah. They were hiding it. And I know Obama was going to try and talk to him, but he got pushed back. And Nancy Pelosi and George Clooney. And not that they're all the same people, but people that really supported him. It's sad. You know what, though? We're in this position. Like I've talked about this before. It's collective karma. We are here to learn from each other in this time, this moment in the world, in the long history of our time. And the connection, you know, when I had my breast cancer, I was like, what's the meaning of life, right? Because it makes no sense. Why me? I lived a healthy life. I didn't smoke. I didn't do anything. I tried to eat well and everything, and some family DNA, but most of it was stress. But the point is, I was asking what the meaning of life is. And I finally got it, you know, when I was taking my chemo and everything. It's here right now. It's you and me. It's any conversation you have with anybody, anything you come up against, or any person you meet in a store, or anybody, a friend, a lover, just an acquaintance. That interaction those moments that we have together is the meaning of life. This right now, these back and forth, feeling that community or that connection as on the human level, on the soul level, our spirits kind of mingle. And that's what I got from my experience. So going back to why are we here in this time, and why can't we fix it? And why is everybody being stupid or ignorant or greedy and power hungry and not doing the best for the country? Yes, that's a problem, but we're all here to have our spirits mingle and connect with one another, and perhaps engage in a way to allow miracles to happen. And a lot of this will come out of protest. A lot of it will come out of connections we never expected. And a lot of it people will find within themselves a strength that they didn't know they had, or a desire, or, a lot of things that they didn't know that they could reach down, and the strength and courage to manifest into the world. So I have faith, and there's dark people. They just are. They're just dark people, and their soul is learning lessons. Unfortunately, we're all part of that, like I said. So, all right, that's it. I'm going to go downstairs and put I think my rolls will be mostly risen, and I'm going to go probably on a sort of a diet and go on a walk, because we were in the city and I ate way too much pasta, and there was some potato gnocchis with this cream truffle mushroom sauce that was not, it was awesome. I wanted to live in it, but yeah, that added to my hips and my belly. So I'm going to go for a walk. All right, you guys, I love that you keep giving me suggestions. Thank you. And if you have subscribed and you notice that you're not subscribed anymore, please check and share and do all the YouTubey things. Till next time.